First of all, I very rarely get to do this anymore. I get to embarrass my daughters. I have two of my daughters here with me today. One of them is serving our country in the Netherlands. The other one's married to a serviceman, former serviceman, recently a serviceman, and very proud of him. That comes to spend time with Papa. So, wisdom. Wisdom. You know, they say that old cow hands that are too old to set a bad example start giving good advice. So, I try to impart knowledge as much as I can. Wisdom. It's all over the Bible. I like Old West wisdom. I've got some examples here. First, let me start off with a story. At the college, there were 3 students that were going to assist the dean. 3 honor students on the dean's list. They were going to assist the dean in I guess you say, catching darts for him. You know, that people bring problems to him, they had to think on their feet, you know. So he had a science major, he had a philosophy major, he had a farm and ranch management major. So, the dean says, you all are very intelligent. I can tell by your grades. You've passed your test, and the application that you gave me was amazing. I just want to ask you one question to see how well you can think on your feet. I want to ask you one question. You have 1 second to write it down, and then I will see what you said. All right, let's get ready. What is the fastest thing on earth? All 3 of them. We're sitting down real quick and hand it to him. Philosophy major. I believe a thought is the fastest thing on earth. A thought, you know, is amazing. Yes, that's true. That's true. A thought is. Science major. Well, light, of course, is the fastest thing on earth, because when you touch the switch, before you can even think about it, the light is on. So, you know, the speed of light is the fastest thing on earth. Well, yes, the speed of light is where we judge most fast things. The cowboy. I'm not understanding your philosophy. You wrote down the fastest thing in the world. He said diarrhea. Okay, would you please explain that to me? He said, well, about that stuff hit my cousin the other day. He didn't have time to turn on the light or think a thought. He got the job. So, some of this cowboy wisdom, it holds true to most things. One, of course, very famous one, a closed mouth gathers no boots. Never miss a good chance to shut up. Be thankful you're not getting all the government you're paying for. I'm trying to run through here. I had a few of these planned out and I can't even remember them all. Never approach a bull from the front, a horse from the back, or a fool from any direction. There's a few of them I actually can't read up here. A good fence should be pig tight, horse high, and bull strong. Good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Those are just a few. There's actually like 3 pages of these I was going through. But wisdom. That's something that we all need. A few of us attain. And I'm not one of them, by the way. A few of us attain, and it's every person is trying to gather more. Except for those of us who know it all. So, the smartest man in the world. I'm going to refute a common misconception. The smartest man that ever lived, who is it? Solomon, right? All right. And I am not a male chauvinist, okay? I want you to know this. I am not. But I want you to understand, Solomon had 700 wives, 300 concubines. Okay. I don't know the common core thing, but my math comes up with 1,000 women he had to keep happy. That is the opposite of wisdom, people. Even the women know that. That is the opposite of wisdom. But he was the wisest man that ever lived. In 1 Kings 11, 1 Kings 11, it talks about Solomon's wives. Oh yeah, that was another one of the cowboy's wisdoms. There are two philosophies with arguing with the woman. Neither one of them work. I know this one. I have one wife, one daughter-in-law, 4 daughters, and 2 granddaughters. You get at least 2 of them together, I gotta go. I'm in trouble. All right. 1 Kings 11. It talks about King Solomon's wives. He said, King Solomon loved many foreign women besides Pharaoh's daughter. And then he tells all these people who he loved, and I'm not even going to attempt those names. And we'll go down to 4. It says, as Solomon grew old, his wives led him astray. As Solomon grew old, his wives turned his heart from after other gods. And his heart was not fully devoted to the Lord his God, as his father was, as his heart of his father David. I can't even read today. Something might help. It's working. All right. His heart was fully not devoted to the Lord as the heart of his father David. He followed Ashtaroth, the goddess of the cities. He followed a lot of people. And down to 9, he said, the Lord became very angry with Solomon because his heart had turned away from the Lord, the God of Israel, who had appeared to him twice. Although he had forbidden Solomon to follow other gods, Solomon did not keep his command. So the Lord said to Solomon, since this is your attitude, and you have not kept my commandment and my decrees, the covenant and my decrees, which I commanded you, I will most certainly tear the kingdom away from you and give it to one of your subordinates. Nevertheless, for the sake of David your father, I will not do it during your lifetime. I will tear it out of the hand of your son, yet I will not tear the whole kingdom of him, but will give him one tribe for the sake of David, my servant, and the sake of Jerusalem, which I have chosen. Okay. Solomon was wise. Go back to the first of his life when he took over as a boy. The first thing, God come to him face to face and said, what do you want? I will give you riches. I will give you long life. I will give you everything you would desire. Just ask. And Solomon said, I want the wisdom to lead your people. God said, that's what I wanted to hear. Paraphrasing, okay? That's what I wanted to hear. I will give you not only the wisdom to lead my people, you will have wisdom like no other man since, and no other man before, and no other since. And I will give you also riches. I will give you a long life and many sons and all this stuff. Twice God came to Solomon and talked to him. I mean, the man himself came to Solomon and talked to him. Still, Solomon took wives of other countries, cultures. That's what I was trying to think of. Other cultures, and I'm sure I'm not. This was not in the Bible, but I'm sure it happened like this. Well, you are my husband, but I really wish I could worship my own gods. This whatever it was. So Solomon says, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just build you a temple. Boom, done. Well, if you really love me, you come worship with me. Remember about the arguing? It doesn't work. Okay, I'll go, dear. See? And his heart got led astray. He started committing himself to other religions, tearing away from not only his worship of a true and living God, but of other gods. Now, has anyone read a book called Ecclesiastes? That's a real cool book. And it's full of this guy saying, it's all folly. You can't really enjoy anything. You can't enjoy the wind outside. You can't enjoy the sun. You can't enjoy the rain. You can't enjoy... He went all through there telling how he could not enjoy anything. That, I believe, is a direct reflection of him leaving God and worshiping others. The further he got from God, the less he was able to enjoy his life. How many of us today are running after other gods? Absolutely not. I'm not chasing any other gods. But there are people who would say, well, you know, I could go to church and fellowship and worship the Lord, but man, the weather's right. Just look at the way the sun's glinting off that lake. I've got to go fishing. You know, I would go worship the Lord, but man, I got to go to the office and see if I can't make more money because my kid wants a Ferrari instead of the Chevrolet. Well, I don't know, I can't think of any more. That's about all I'm going to come up with. But you think about this. Anything that takes your mind from God is a God. Exodus 20 said, you shall have no other gods before me. You should not make yourself a god of anything, you know, under the earth, on the earth, over the earth, no engraven image of any kind. Excuse me. You will have no gods before me. Yet we put gods in front of him all the time. Whether it's time or money or things or people. We do this all the time. And I know from personal experience, the more I do that, and it's not God who does this, but it's me. The more I do that, the further I step away from God. And the further I get away from him, the worse I feel, the less I can enjoy. When my wife and I argue, it's hard to enjoy our marriage. It's hard to enjoy the time together until we reconcile. There's a lot of yes dears going on. No, seriously, until we reconcile, it's hard to enjoy our marriage. I'm not saying I don't love her, I'm saying it's hard to enjoy the marriage. David himself, he said in Psalms 50, God, return the joy of my salvation. The joy of my salvation. He didn't say, give me back my salvation because you took it. No, he said, return to me the joy of your salvation. Because the further you get away, the worse you feel. Solomon came up and wrote a whole book about folly. What it was like to not enjoy anything. And the last thing he said is Ecclesiastes 13:13 and 14. The last thing he said, now all has been heard. Here's the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. How many times have we stood here and we said, you know, I wish I could just be rich, or I wish I could just be thin, or I wish I could be bigger, or I wish I could be grown up. I don't ever wish that. I wish we could have, a new pickup or a new car, or I wish we could have all this stuff. And the more we wish for things like this, for stuff that will be burned up one day, the further we feel from God. How many times do we get down on our knees and say, God, thank you for everything you've given me. I don't want another thing. Just thank you for what I do have. That's hard for us to do, living in this world. Because it's a world to keep up with. I used to say the Joneses, but then I met a guy named Jones and he was in terrible condition. I didn't want to keep up with him. So, keeping up with our neighbor, This guy's got 2 cars, so I need 3, Trying to think of the woman's name, married to the guy who invented J.B. Weld over in East Texas. Her and Bo Pilgrim. When Bo Pilgrim had the competition going on, how many gables they had on their house. And you would go by and they would be constructing a new gable on this lady's house. We passed it every week when we were in East Texas. Every week we'd pass it, it was constructing more gables. Or dormers, what are they called? Dormers, gables, dormers, whatever they are. The little things that looks like a doghouse sitting on the side of your house. Yeah, they were constructing more and more, and I'm thinking, how many thousands of dollars are these people spending to get more doghouses on the side of their house? Why? Well, another one of those cowboy wisdoms. People's got more dollars than cents. Why don't we thank God for what we've got? In Malachi 3:10, God said, bring your whole tithe to the altar. And He's not talking just money. He's talking about your time, your devotion, your love. Bring your whole tithe to the altar and see how I pour out the blessings from heaven. I'll just empty it out on you. And I found that if I give my tithe of money and time and devotion, He can do more with 10. He can do more with 90% than I can do with 110. He seems to be able to stretch dollars more. He seems to be able to make time stretch more, or feel like it anyway. I have more energy to devote to Him. That's the best vitamins you can get, by the way. But first have to give God what is His. Wisdom. The wisdom that Solomon didn't put in here. A lot of the other prophets did. Give everything to God and let Him manage it. Follow what God tells you to do. Can you not hear Him? He doesn't talk in storms. He doesn't talk in earth-shattering lightning displays or was it the meteor storms. He doesn't talk in heavy winds or floods or anything. He uses those. But when He talks to us, it's a whisper. Because a whisper is heard far better than a yell. When He talks to us, there's a thought in your head. If you're here today and you don't know God, you don't know Christ, you don't have that salvation and that peace in your heart, there's a thought in the back of your mind that will not let go. No matter how far you run, no matter how hard you run, no matter where you go, it's always there saying, you know what? You've got to turn your life around. You've got to do this. And if you just give it to God, He's going to take care of it. So, what you do is you start a relationship with Jesus Christ. You start a relationship with God through Jesus Christ. And it all comes about. You understand what I'm saying? Most people are going, yeah. Some of them are going, really? All you have to do is start a relationship with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, who was the perfect sacrifice for our sins. And you've got it going on. But the young lady says, threaten me with heaven? Go right ahead. I know where I'm going. It's all right here. In the Bible. I don't know if it's true, but there's an acronym they use for Bible. You know what it is? Basic instructions before leaving earth, something like that. It's all right here. But if you don't know where it is, don't understand, you don't know how to find it, come talk to me. I'm grabbing a cup of coffee here in a little bit, and I'm going to go inside. Grab one, sit down with me. You don't want to talk to me? That's fine. Look for somebody with a cowboy hat, or boots, or a Bible. Talk to one of our elders, our lay pastors. Talk to our wives. Talk to Ken. No, don't talk to Ken. No, I'm joking. But find somebody, really. Find somebody, but do not leave here today. Please do not leave here without knowing, beyond a shadow of a doubt, God's got your back. And don't know that peace that comes with knowing Him. I'm going to lead you in a prayer. If God's talking to you today, follow me. Lord, I'm all tore up inside. I don't know your peace that you've promised. I know the folly of not enjoying my life, and I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it through you. I want to have that peace in my heart. I know that Christ came into the world and died on the cross. He was buried, and 3 days was risen again. He lives with you, and He's coming back. I believe that with all of my heart, and I confess Him as my Savior today. Lord, I pray that you come into my heart and you descend out. Fill me up with your Holy Spirit. Lord, just walk with me while I'm here on earth. Guide me. Show me how to manage my life. Welcome me into heaven when I get there. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Folks, that's the most important thing you can do. I cannot tell you how important that is. That feeling of peace. The knowledge that you're not alone. That you've got a family here that will show you nothing but love.